A chilling dream recently seized my mind, and I'm still sifting through its lingering echoes. For 4 years, my partner and I wove a shared existence. We crossed paths in our university days, cohabited in a shared flat for the last 2 years, and everything seemed to thrive, or so I thought. Our days brimmed with talks of wedding vows, future children, and a life intertwined, convincing me our connection was unshakable. Yet in a single moment, it all crumbled. The collapse began one Thursday evening when I left my workplace earlier than anticipated. My team had landed a significant client, and my supervisor granted us an early release to revel in the success. Excited to delight my girlfriend with her beloved sushi, I hurried home. But the instant I crossed the threshold of our apartment, the world tilted. I entered softly, using my key, and was about to set the sushi bag on the kitchen counter, when distinct noises floated from our bedroom. For a brief second, I stood frozen, the bag weighing heavier in my grip. I could have retreated, ignoring the sounds, but an urge for truth propelled me forward. Pushing open the bedroom door, I saw her with an unfamiliar man. They didn't notice me at first, so I cleared my throat. They jerked upright, and I asked evenly, "What's happening here?" My girlfriend scrambled to cover herself, her face not reflecting guilt but annoyance. "You're supposed to be at work," she retorted, as though I were the one at fault. The man hastily collected his clothes, stammering that he was unaware she had a partner. But he wasn't my focus. My gaze locked on her. "How long has this been going on?" I pressed. "It was just once. Get over it," she shot back, rolling her eyes. Then she struck a cruel blow. "He's better in bed than you anyway." Her words cut deeply, yet I held my silence. With a nod, I turned and left. That night, I crashed at a friend's place, powering off my phone. Hours slipped by as I stared at the ceiling, engulfed in a hollow numbness. By dawn, a sense of resolve crystallized within me. I knew the steps I had to take. I called my workplace to request a personal day, then contacted our landlord to end the lease early, as the apartment was under my name. I swiftly finalized the paperwork. Next, I reached out to utility companies to disconnect all services. By noon, everything was settled. I also disentangled our finances. We didn't share bank accounts, but I removed her as an authorized user on my credit card, which she'd been using without my permission. That chapter was firmly closed. To clear my head, I retreated to a coffee shop, ignoring the flood of texts and calls from her. By 4 p.m., I glanced at my phone. 17 missed calls, 36 messages and 9 voicemails. I didn't engage with them. Instead, I messaged my friend to confirm I could stay at his place longer. He warmly offered his couch. By 6 p.m., I returned to the apartment while she was at her yoga class. I packed my belongings swiftly, left the key on the counter, and placed a note explaining the lease would terminate in 30 days and the utilities were cut off. As I drove out of the parking lot, her car pulled in. Our eyes met briefly. Her face marked by confusion, but I kept driving. The next morning, I woke to 43 emails from her, ranging from furious accusations to frantic pleas. She couldn't shower because the water was off. She couldn't stream shows because the internet was gone. She couldn't even order food because her card was declined. Her final email, sent at 2:37 a.m., simply read, "Please call me. I'm sorry. We need to talk." I didn't respond. I wasn't sure if I was still in shock or simply detached, but I felt nothing, no rage, no sorrow, just an empty void. A week later, her life began to spiral further. I hadn't been entirely transparent earlier. When I spoke to the landlord, I didn't merely ask about ending the lease. I paid a fee equivalent to 1 month's rent to terminate it early, giving her 30 days to find a new place. She went to the leasing office in tears, only to learn she couldn't afford the apartment alone. Her credit and income didn't meet the requirements. It worsened. The man she was with married, with a pregnant wife. I discovered this when she appeared at my workplace after days of me ignoring her calls. She caused a scene, shouting that I'd ruined her life over a single error. Someone recorded it, and when I watched the footage later, I caught the man's name. A quick search on Facebook revealed he was her co-worker, married, with a child on the way. I sent his wife a concise message with the facts, including screenshots of my ex's emails, which exposed the affair had spanned months, not just one night as she claimed. The wife was devastated, but expressed gratitude for the truth. Yesterday, pandemonium broke loose. My ex called 19 times in 2 hours. When I finally answered, she shrieked. "Do you realize what you've done?" I replied calmly. "You made your choices." She broke down, sobbing, apologizing, and begging me to restore the utilities and let her move back in. By morning, she sent an email listing demands. Move back in, cover her rent, reconnect the utilities, reinstate her credit card access, and speak to the man's wife. I was torn. Part of me wanted to sever ties forever, but another part still wrestled with the pain of her betrayal. Weeks later, life has settled into an odd new cadence. The bright side. I've moved into my own place. It's smaller than our old apartment but closer to work, with a rooftop deck where I savor my morning coffee. Friends helped me settle in last weekend, and it's beginning to feel like home. As for my ex, after I ignored her pleas for assistance, she sent a lengthy email. This time, she didn't just dwell on her mistakes. She blamed me, claiming I didn't affirm her enough, worked too much, and neglected her emotional needs. Typical deflection. I didn't reply. 2 days later, her sister called. We'd always had a good rapport, so I answered. She asked if I could help with rent, saying my ex was struggling. She acknowledged my ex's error, but felt cutting off all support was severe. I clarified that we'd always split expenses, and the only thing I fully covered was the internet, which my ex had falsely told her family was my responsibility. Her sister fell silent, then texted later to apologize, revealing she'd learned my ex had misrepresented herself as financially dependent on me for years, even claiming the upscale apartment was my idea when she'd insisted on it. Then came a revelation. The married coworker was under investigation at their workplace. His wife had gone to HR with evidence of the affair, including the screenshots I'd sent. Both he and my ex had been using company time for their trysts, violating policy. They were placed on administrative leave. I learned this when my ex appeared at my new apartment, intoxicated, at 11 p.m., mascara streaming down her face. She pounded on my door, screaming that I'd destroyed her life and that she'd likely be fired with nowhere to live in 2 weeks. She tried to force her way inside, demanding help, but I told her I was no longer her solution and closed the door. The next day, her sister texted another apology, saying my ex was staying with her temporarily. Things quieted for 3 weeks until a mutual friend informed me that both my ex and the coworker had been fired. The coworker's wife was filing for divorce, citing my ex as a factor. I felt no satisfaction, only weariness. I didn't want to linger on her or the drama anymore. I turned my focus to my new life, furnishing my apartment, and even buying plants, something my ex always dismissed as too much effort. Over 2 months later, things are looking up. I earned a promotion at work, with a salary increase and new responsibilities I find fulfilling. My apartment feels like a true sanctuary, and I've started cooking proper meals instead of relying on takeout. Then unexpectedly, my ex emailed me subject line, "Closure." I nearly deleted it but opened it out of curiosity. It wasn't what I anticipated. She offered a genuine apology, admitting to lying, manipulating, and taking me for granted. She revealed she was in therapy, facing difficult truths about herself. The most striking part was her admission that her betrayal wasn't just the affair. It was the web of deceit and manipulation, exploiting my stability. She didn't expect forgiveness or a response. I reflected on her words for days before replying with a concise, "Thank you for your apology. I wish you well on your journey forward." That felt like the closure I needed. I haven't heard from her since. Through mutual friends, I learned she's still with her sister, but has a job interview in another city. The coworker tried to reconcile with his wife, but she finalized the divorce. Their baby was born last week. As for me, I've cautiously re-entered the dating scene. Nothing serious, just lighthearted. I met someone captivating at a friend's birthday party, and we talked for hours. We have dinner plans tomorrow, and while I'm nervous, it's the exciting kind. Memories of my ex still emerge occasionally, sparked by a familiar place or moment, but the pain has softened. The sharp wound of betrayal has dulled to a faint ache, gradually fading. Someone once said the opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. I'm nearly there. Writing this has helped me process everything, and the support from others has validated my emotions. Life moves forward, and surprisingly, it's growing brighter each day. For those wondering, I'm doing well. The date went wonderfully, and no, I don't miss her. To those who think I was too harsh, I made the choices necessary to protect myself.